Buongiorno! I finally managed to find some time to shoot this video. I was waiting, you cannot imagine how long. Today we are gonna talk about everything I'm bringing with me in my luggage. I spread everything for you and now we are gonna give a look. Let's start with the bag. I said 3, but actually there are many more. These are the Moscomoto backcountry 35 liters. This one and this one. Plus I added this one and this one, which are 10 liters more. It's like a very robust 10 liters dry bag. Plus these two 5 liters dry bag, which are supposed to stay here inside this pocket here, but I definitely prefer to use this pocket for bottles or for something that I can just, put inside easily. Then this is the 35 liters rear duffel, still a dry bag basically, with a little add-on that I put using the MOL attachment system. This is the tank bag where I used to store everything that I need handy. So for example, the video equipment, documents, money, the drone. This is the gift I got from the road from Leh to Manali, coming back, when I fell in 50-60 centimeters of mud with the whole motorbike. So this is the level where the mud was, it was unbelievable. Then, this is my pair of boots, Forma boots, Adventure something. These are the shoes that I use when I'm not riding a motorbike. Flip-flops, when I want to be very comfortable in a hotel room, because maybe it's not really clean on the ground, I use this. Let's talk now about the gloves. I have 4 pairs of gloves, actually too many. These are the summer season one, these are the mid-season, these are for the winter season, and these are also for winter season when it's really, really cold, because they have a battery inside and they get warm. So on top of the heated grips, I can add more heat to my hands using these gloves. Then here we have a rain jacket, rain trousers. This is the emergency vest in case of an accident or a problem with the motorbike. This is the emergency medical kit, which is compulsory in some country, but it's always a good idea to bring with you. And now let's give a look to camping stuff. Here we have the tent inside the dry bag, so I can store it easily when it's wet without making a mess anywhere else. This is the sleeping bag. This is a blanket that actually I use to protect the PC, but it's also very nice in when at night it's not so cold to require this kind of sleeping bag. And here we have the inflatable pillow. This is the emergency blanket, which actually I got as a gift from Joel in Slovenia. And this is the, how is the name in English? I don't know. Actually, it's like a sleeping bag, a sleeping linen to keep yourself protected from some very dirty bed in some house that can happen. This is the inflatable mattress, which is quite cheap, but really, really good, very thick, very comfortable. And this is the pump, which is actually very good to turn on the fire as well. And this is the, let's say, the main beauty case with all the where I used to store what I'm not using every day, but I need to carry with me. This is one of my epic fails. This is the hammock, which I actually used just one time, so it's traveling with me since 25,000 kilometers, just for one single use. Then here we have the chair, the foldable chair, and the foldable table, which are both very useful in case of cooking in a camping. Then let's talk about maintenance. So here we have some spare part. This is the water pipe, the coolant pipe, which in the TRK is pretty exposed, so it can break easily if you hit a rock or or a log. Then here we have the oil filter, air filter, a couple of spark plugs, bearings, some wire. Then here it's a box where with a lot of connectors, some glue, some patch, some other cable, sandpaper, you know, some washer, some bolt, some screw. Here, this is the actual toolbox with everything I need to open every screw, every bolt, every nut. This is the box with the inserts to put on the bigger lever. Then we have some gloves, some zip ties, quite a lot actually. An extra chain in case I break it, and a spare tube. My motorbike is tubeless. I made the conversion, but you know, you never know. Maybe you bend the rim and it can be really useful. It's quite heavy and bulky, but okay. Then here we have all my little paradise. Everything I need to cook when I'm camping, not only when I'm camping. Sometimes you don't have a kitchen in an apartment or a good one. Here I have all my spices and a couple of little empty boxes in case I need to store something. This is the cooking stove that you can open. It's a really good one with a couple of gas cans. And this is my baby, my foldable barbecue. The best 35 euros I've ever spent in my life. And here we have a glass, generally for wine. This is to boil water or cooking pasta. This is a dish. And this is the pot I use for cooking, which I removed the handle because it's much easier to store. This is a filter, a water filter, in case you are stuck somewhere, you finish your water and you just have water from a river, from a pothole or stuff like that. With this one you can safely drink wherever you want. This is for protecting the gas stove from a strong wind, so you open it and you put around. These are fork, knife and spoon, the same made out of plastic. This is for barbecue, this one or a proper one. And this is the little version that you can use maybe with this barbecue, which is much smaller, or also for cooking. Sometimes it's really useful. The cutting board. And what else? No. Then here we have clothes. I use this organizer, which are really useful because you can compress your stuff. Your clothes need much less space and they are really easy to take out from the bag without making a mess. This is the organizer I keep in the right pannier. With all the clothes I'm not using that specific period of time. So for example, if it is very hot, I keep my jumper and warmer clothes here. And these are the two that I bring with me into the duffel, so the rear bag. Generally, I organize in this way. One is for what I need for sleeping or for the night, and one is with the change for the next day. And here we have all the clothes I washed, which somehow I need to fit here or separately in the bags. There is also a very thin but effective towel. Here we have all the electronic compartment. So we have the drone, the battery, the spare batteries, the remote control. This is very useful because I keep crashing the drone. These are the replacement for the propellers. Here we have three different sides of power banks. This is a 20 ampere, this is a 10 ampere, this is a 5. And this is also with a solar panel in case of emergency. Here we have three different hard disks, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 4 terabyte. This is actually broken because I dropped it on the floor. So let's hope I will manage to save my files because there are actually all the files of the first season. Here we have some cable, other cable here inside. This is for the second microphone I'm using right now with some connectors and adapters. These are the camera some of the camera connectors, adapter, stickers, some other are in a different bag. So let's talk a bit about what I think about this setup. Many of you might think that it's too much, I know, but actually I don't think it's so much more than I actually needed. Don't think about what you are used to bring with you, to carry with you when you just go for a few weeks holiday somewhere. When I leave Italy, I know more or less where I'm going. I don't know if I'm gonna change my plans, and actually I cannot know exactly which is the weather I'm gonna experience. So for example, talking about clothes, for sure I need to carry with me everything from a swimming suit till a heavy jumper and additional layers of the jacket, raincoats, different kind of gloves for different situations. Also consider that I'm traveling alone, so that means that I need to carry with me a lot of tools, a lot of spare parts in case of an emergency. I cannot share tools or spare part with other motorbikers. Talking about camping stuff, actually I could carry something smaller, that for sure. I'm traveling low budget, so I cannot buy last model of the best company. I'm just carrying what I have or what I managed to buy. Talking about cooking stuff, that for sure too much. That is too much for people that are just willing to cook soup or something, just for feeding the stomach. Actually, that is not the way I like to travel and to camp. I like to take care of myself. I love food, I love cooking, so actually I'm really happy when also while camping I can prepare something nice. So it's not a matter of bringing more or less stuff, it's probably in my case, a matter of bringing or not bringing cooking stuff. And I'm actually thinking about that for the next travel, because I really need to low down the weight of my luggage, and probably instead of just bringing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, one option might be just not carrying any kind of tent, sleeping bag, cooking stuff. I'm still thinking about that, but that's an option because it would change dramatically the quantity of stuff and the weight you are carrying with you. Now let's talk about the actual setup. So I mean, how and where you store the different stuff you saw here on the floor. That's really a very important topic because every time you arrive somewhere, either it is camping or a hotel, a hostel, whatever, you really need to carry the less possible number of bags. Generally, I used to store in the duffel everything that I need for sleeping, for editing videos, for changing myself for the next day. And 90% of time when I go to sleep in a hotel or in a hostel, or just need to remove the duffel and that's it. In the right pannier I store spare parts, tools and clothes that I'm not using in that specific period of time. For example, it is summertime, I store there the jumpers, the heavy jeans, heavy socks and stuff like that. In the left pannier I store the cooking stuff, camping stuff, apart from the tent, which is stored in a separate dry bag, because when you remove the tent, maybe during the night was raining or it's just wet or muddy, you don't want to mix together clean stuff with the dirt stuff. What is also important is to think about how you put and which position, which layer of especially in the panniers, the different tools or stuff, because it's really complicated to fit everything into the panniers, and if you need to take something that is in the bottom and you have to remove everything, it takes time, it's unpleasant, and from time to time you cannot put back everything. What you learn with experience is how to divide the different stuff and in different panniers, in different bags, and also in which position inside the pannier you are fitting everything. From time to time, when I want to go off-road in a very tough environment, I decide to remove all the bags, so the pannier and the panniers and the duffel, but I obviously need to carry with me tools, the kit for repairing the tires, And generally also unless I'm sure that it's not gonna rain, also the raincoat and the rain trousers that are stored into 5 liters dry bags that are attached on the side of the frame of the motorbike. So even if I remove everything from the motorbike, those 2 dry bags are always with me, and so I can easily rely with a puncture or with a storm or with just the need to repair something in the motorbike. Right now, the total weight of my luggage is around 60 kilos, included the bags, which are quite heavy, especially the panniers. They are around 5 kilos each, so 10 kilos is just the side panniers. I don't think I will be able to reach as low as 40 kilos. Would be a miracle to arrive just to 40 kilos. I would be really happy. For sure, there are a lot of things I'm not using. The point is that your brain always prefers to have something that regret that you don't have. And so far, honestly, I'm not sure if it is a good idea to get rid of this habit, because from time to time you use something that you think that you are not going to use, and sometimes it saves your life, or at least saves your day. So I really hope you enjoyed the video, that you got some interesting information from what I showed you. If you did, please let me know with a comment or a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm watching you.